Outrank your boss without breaking a rule. Machiavelli shows how invisible power beats job titles if you know where to press. History does not remember the loud. It remembers the effective. You do not need a title to influence people. You do not need permission to rise. You do not need recognition to win the game. Because the truth is simple. Authority is not in the position. It is in the person. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone who ever studied power. He wrote, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." Those who wait to be crowned remain peasants. Those who move before the crown arrives become kings. This is a message for the silent ones, the underestimated, the overlooked, the ones who are present but never acknowledged. You are not weak, you are simply quiet. But quiet is not powerless. Quiet is controlled. This is the dark psychology of power, how to win when you have no authority. And tonight, I will teach you how. Stay with me until the end, because this may be the most important shift in thinking you make in your entire life. Subscribe to this channel and get your life transformed for good. Now, let us begin. Power begins with perception. Most people think influence starts with what you do. They're wrong. Influence begins with what people think you are capable of doing. Machiavelli warned us, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel." Understand this. People do not follow the most skilled person. They follow the most convincing person. This world does not reward merit. It rewards presence. So if you have no authority, you must construct it quietly, strategically, intentionally. And you begin with appearance engineering. Not clothing, not fake luxury, not ego. I am talking about the silent signals of power. Power has a posture. Power has a rhythm. Power has a stillness. Power has a gaze that does not shift when challenged. Power does not rush. Power does not justify. Power does not explain. Because those who explain kneel, and those who kneel cannot control. If you speak, speak few words. If you move, move with purpose. If you commit, never break your word. These are signals, psychological marks of strength, and humans are wired to follow them. In offices, in families, in business, in relationships, the one who controls the emotional pace controls the environment. Slow your breathing. Slow your responses. Be the calmest presence in every room, because calmness is quiet dominance. And I promise you this, people will begin to feel your authority before you ever display it. And that is the beginning. The powerless are loud. The powerful are silent. If you want to win without authority, your greatest weapon is information. Control it, and you control outcomes. Machiavelli warned, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." In this world, information is influence, and the person who knows more wins more. But here is the secret. You don't need to talk to gain information. You need to listen. You need to observe. You need to ask the right questions and say very little in return. Become unpredictable. Reveal nothing about yourself. Share no weaknesses. Expose no desires. People cannot attack what they cannot define. They cannot compete with what they cannot measure. Speak less than everyone in the room, but extract more than anyone listening. If someone wants you to speak, remember this rule of silent power. Never answer directly. Answer strategically. Redirect conversations. Collect data. Store advantage. Because one day, not today, not tomorrow, but at the right moment, the person who controls the truth controls the decision. And that day always comes. No one rises alone. not kings, not presidents, not CEOs, not even warriors. If you have no authority, borrow it. Power is not always in titles, but it is always in networks. Build alliances before you need them. Support people privately, encourage them quietly, solve problems silently. Let others speak, listen to them, make them feel valued, and one day they will return to you when your move requires backing. That is loyalty by design. Here is a quiet law of power. Never compete for attention. Compete for influence. Influence lives inside people. Do not win crowds. Win individuals, one by one, quietly, permanently. Now listen carefully. When your enemy is stronger, stand behind someone whose shadow is bigger than their threat. That is coalition power. That is leverage for the ones without a title. And that is how the underestimated survive long enough to rise. There comes a moment in the rise of every powerful person, a moment where silence is no longer enough, a moment where waiting ends, a moment where a line must be drawn and a boundary must be enforced. This is where most people fail. They fear confrontation. They fear rejection. They fear being disliked. And so they submit. They give too much. They bend, hoping to be accepted. But those who bend eventually break. Machiavelli taught a brutal truth. He who is compassionate to the cruel will ultimately be cruel to the compassionate. Meaning, if you cannot defend your limits, the world will not protect you. The world will use you.
Controlled power requires controlled ruthlessness. Not aggression, not cruelty, not emotional rage. Discipline, execution, clarity. You must learn the art of saying no. No to disrespect. No to exploitation. No to energy thieves. No to endless demands without return. No to fake friendships built on convenience. No to manipulation disguised as opportunity. In private, be kind, but in strategy, be unbreakable. Remember, weak people deliver warnings. Powerful people deliver consequences. Never threaten, never argue, never beg. When someone crosses the line, you enforce your boundary once and only once, firmly. A quiet statement, a decisive move, a permanent shift. Nothing more is needed. Authority is not proven in argument, it is proven in action. Ruthlessness is not about cruelty, it is about survival. And those who fail to defend themselves do not rise. Let me prove this to you with history. Before Julius Caesar became a ruler, a general, or a legend, he was a nobody in Rome. A young man with no title, no army, and no political power. He was surrounded by men wealthier than him, louder than him, better positioned than him. But Caesar understood something few people ever realize. You don't need authority if you can create influence. He crafted his rise with precision. The same path I gave you, he used it, step by step. First, he engineered presence. He dressed sharper than every senator. He entered every room with stillness and slow power. His words were few, but they landed. Even his enemies noticed him. Second, he hoarded information. He spent hours listening more than he spoke. He learned about debts, rivalries, secret affairs, military movements. He collected leverage, not gossip. Third, he built alliances. He connected with the forgotten, the soldiers, the common people, the poor. He gave them hope. He gave them a voice. In return, they gave him loyalty. From loyalty came leverage. From leverage came momentum. Then he used controlled ruthlessness. He waited, patiently, calculating, and when Rome fell into chaos, he made one silent move that changed history forever. he crossed the Rubicon River and forced Rome to acknowledge his rise. He did not ask for power. He moved with power, and authority followed. He began as a man with no title. He died as a legend. This is the path of every silent warrior, the path of every underestimated man and woman who refuses to remain invisible. You may not have a title. You may not have support. You may not have rank, recognition, or permission. But I will tell you this. If you build quiet influence, if you master appearance, information, alliances, and decisive power, you will rise. Not loudly, not desperately. You will rise with calm inevitability. You do not need permission to begin. You need movement, small, deliberate, quiet. The first tactical move is pace. Slow your tempo below the room. The fastest voice loses gravity. The calmest presence becomes the metronome of everyone's nerves. Let others rush, stack words, spill secrets. You pause. You allow silence to do what noise never can. Pull attention. People lean in when they fear missing what you might say next. And if you say nothing, they lean in further. Next, arrange your environment to speak on your behalf. A clean desk signals order. An ordered calendar signals reliability. Reliability becomes leverage. Leverage becomes soft authority. Your tools should look used, not new. Your notes, precise. Your deadlines, predictable. People offer opportunities to those who reduce chaos, not add to it. Third, become the index of the room. Memorize names, roles, reoccurring problems. When a question appears, answer with a sentence that starts with certainty. Here is the pattern. Then prove it with 2 facts. Not 3, 2. 2 is sharp. 2 is surgical. 2 lodges in memory. You will be quoted after you leave. Fourth, control introductions. When you introduce people to each other, you become the bridge they remember. Bridges do not shout. They connect and then become part of the landscape. But all traffic still runs across them. Quiet power. Fifth, ask for small responsibilities that others avoid. Note-taking, agenda setting, follow-up summaries. Weak people think this is servitude. It is cartography. The one who writes the map decides where the roads lead. Draft the next steps. Offer the version that removes friction. The room will accept your path because it feels inevitable. Sixth, own one crisis. Do not chase them all. Choose one difficult, reoccurring problem and turn it into your field. Learn its angles, its vocabulary, its pressure points. Become the person they call at 1 a.m. when the error returns. Dependence is not requested, it is engineered. Seventh, design your refusals. You cannot rise if you drown. Say no without the word no. Say, to protect delivery, I'll need to drop X, or that breaks the promise we made to Y, or happy to do it if we remove Z. Boundaries with reasons sound like leadership. Boundaries with apologies sound like fear. Choose reasons. Eighth, keep a ledger of favors earned and favors granted. Do not speak of it. Do not wave it like currency. Record it quietly. Return value before you collect. When you finally ask, your request is not a demand. It is a restoration of balance. Ninth, anticipate objections before they surface. State them yourself, calmly, cleanly, and resolve them before critics feel courageous. You deflate rebellion by offering it a chair and removing its oxygen. 10th, when recognition arrives, downplay it. When failure appears, absorb it. A person who does not chase credit or dodge blame creates a gravitational field. People orbit what is stable. They worship what is unshakable. They promote what protects them. Understand what compels obedience, not fear alone, not love alone, respect. Respect is built on 3 pillars: competence, consistency, consequence. Competence, you can do the thing. Consistency, you do it every time. Consequence, if others fail, something real happens. Remove any one of these and authority collapses. Add all 3 and the room aligns without orders. Humans obey cadence. Speak in clear beats, short lines, space, then longer lines when meaning expands. Rhythm guides emotion. Emotion guides decision. Decision creates compliance. Humans obey certainty, not arrogance, certainty. This is the path, followed by proof. Machiavelli understood that the appearance of confidence often outruns pure merit because men judge more by the eye than by the hand. They cannot feel your competence, but they can see your composure. Guard it like a crown.
Humans obey scarcity. If you are always available, you are never valuable. Do not answer instantly. Do not attend every meeting. Decline softly. Attend selectively. When you arrive, arrive complete, prepared, precise, composed. Rare presence multiplies impact. Humans obey consequence. Announce few rules. Enforce them all. Never threaten. Never repeat yourself. One warning, then movement. Mercy in private. Firmness in public. Remember, fear must never harden into hatred. Punish behavior, not identity. Cut once, cleanly, then stop cutting. Humans obey narrative. If you do not frame the story, someone else will. Offer the why first, then the what, then the how. A story that explains risk and reward creates volunteers. A story that hides risk creates saboteurs. Tell them the cost, tell them the prize, then lead them to the hill. You can dominate a room without a single command. Begin with breath. Lower your shoulders. Plant both feet. Align your gaze with the farthest wall, not a face. Faces pull you into emotion. Walls keep you in mission. When you speak, start softer than the room expects. Force silence to gather. Then lift only when the content sharpens, not when anxiety rises. Anxiety cannot own you if you move slower than it. Do not fidget. Do not adjust your chair. Touch nothing unless it is intentional. A still body is a steel message. When challenged, do not turn your head immediately. Pause. Let the challenge hang in the air, a bird without a branch. Then acknowledge it with a nod, a fragment of a smile. Control the temperature. And answer with 5 sentences or fewer. Refuse debates. Debates feed opponents. Decisions starve them. Sit so you can see entrances and exits. A leader watches doors because doors control flow. Stand where the light touches your outline but does not blind you. Light is attention, and attention is oxygen. Position yourself so others must turn their bodies to face you. Rotating a torso is the first act of submission. Use objects like anchors. Place a pen exactly parallel to your notebook's edge. Others will mirror the alignment, unconsciously submitting to your order. When you hand someone a document, lightly touch the top corner and pause until they match your grip, then release. They will feel led, not pushed. Leadership lives in millimeters.
Silent warfare is waged in layers. The first layer is misdirection. Let your opposition chase noise while you accumulate quiet facts. Ask harmless questions that aren't harmless, like, what's the revision history? Who else signed off? What changed between version 1 and 2? Each question is a lantern in a dark hallway. Eventually, the hallway has no shadows left. The second layer is separation. Never fight a group, split a group. Praise one member's diligence in front of the others. Request a small side conversation with the most reasonable critic. Give that critic a win they can show their peers. By the time the group reconvenes, they are no longer one mind. You aren't outnumbered anymore. The third layer is tempo inversion. If they rush, you slow. If they stall, you accelerate. If they produce documents, you produce decisions. If they gossip, you produce minutes. War is won by controlling whether time feels like a knife or a pillow. The fourth layer is deniability through standards. Do not attack a person, enforce a rule. Do not reject their idea, apply the criteria. Design the criteria first, publish it, then measure everything by it. People surrender to standards because standards look like fairness, and fairness is a mask that power wears while it chooses its path. The fifth layer is replacement. Do not remove an enemy without installing an alternative. If you break a bridge and leave a river, you drown. Always have a candidate, a plan, a schedule. Removal without replacement invites chaos. Chaos invites revenge. Close loops. If they strike below the belt, you do not. You document. You escalate only once and only with evidence. You let them reveal themselves while you remain loyal to the mission. In time, people feel the difference between ambition and stewardship. Ambition takes. Stewardship protects. Protection is trusted. Trust becomes throne. Remember this. You are not fighting people. You are shaping incentives. You are not humiliating rivals. You are guiding outcomes. A warrior who needs an audience loses the war the moment the applause fades. You will be tempted to win quickly. Do not. Winning too fast hardens opposition. Win like winter, quietly, inevitably, inch by inch, until resistance forgets what warmth felt like and calls the cold normal. Now the code, the rules I will place in your hands and expect you to carry without dropping. Appear stronger than your position and humbler than your ego. Strength wins space. Humility keeps access. Together they build corridors where others see walls. Plan in ink, act in water. Plans should be precise until reality touches them. Then they should flow. Rigidity is a beautiful tomb. Flexibility is a living blade. Choose visibility by design, not by appetite. Be seen when it matters. Be invisible when it doesn't. Mystery is a multiplier. Overexposure is erosion. Do not argue reputations with people who need yours to breathe. Silence them with outcomes. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. Make your results the honor your name wears. Keep one promise larger than yourself. People follow missions, not men. Tie your rise to something that protects others. Clarity, fairness, excellence, courage. Let them feel safer when you are near. Give credit like rain. Take blame like stone. When praise falls from your hands, fields grow. When blame hits your chest and does not break you, mountains move. Punish in daylight, forgive at dusk. Public discipline teaches the rule. Private mercy preserves the human. Fear without hatred, love without weakness, respect above all. When you lose, and you will, lose completely, admit it, learn it, extract its structure, then return with a weapon built from the thing that cut you. Failure is a forge. Step back in wearing steel. Protect your mornings. Set the day before the day sets you. Choose 3 actions that move the mission, not your mood. Mission first, mood follows. Watch your words as if they could be carved into doors you must later walk through, because they will be. Speak nothing you cannot survive. When the crown is finally offered, look at it as if you have seen it before, because you have, in your discipline, in your stillness, in your refusals. Then take it with 2 hands. Titles do not make you powerful. They only reveal what you were already carrying. Now, breathe. You wanted a path for the overlooked, the underestimated, the ones without a badge. Here it is. Appear as the spine of the room. No more, say less. Build alliances stone by stone. Enforce boundaries with a surgeon's hand. Wage silent war with standards and tempo. Then live by the code when the doors open and when they close. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Let them see calm. Let them experience inevitability. And when they try to explain how you rose without a title, smile and say nothing. Power does not need a witness. Power needs a result.
Now go back to your world, the office that ignores you, the team that doubts you, the family that underestimates you, and begin with 1 act today. 1. Slow your pace. Redraw 1 boundary. Draft the map for the next meeting. Offer the path the room will take. And when it takes it, take note. You have started. If this message found you at the edge of a decision, step forward. If it found you in the ashes of a defeat, stand up. If it found you in quiet rage, cool it into focus. The crown is not at the end. The crown is in the way you walk. Comment the 1 silent lever you will pull this week. Then pull it. Return. Report the result. And remember, you do not need authority to move the world. You need composure. You need strategy. You need time. You have all 3. Power is not given. Power is not assigned. Power is taken, quietly, precisely, completely. And when you finally hold it with honor. Because men honor titles only after the title has met a man.